Jury found George Zimmerman not guilty. 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 Guilty.
Michael Brown Jr.
Guilty.
Gilbert Barber. Say his name. Ron Reginald Settles. Jotavius Stafford. Say his name. Freddie Gray Jr. Oscar Perez Giron. Michael Stewart. David Carter. Nizar Morris. Tamir Rice.
Guilty.
Welcome back, y'all. We are live here on the west side of the after party. You're tuning in to Recognition and Respect with your boy SHNEAKY. Man, I know I've been saving Adventure Time because I told you I was going to do a vlog, but I'm lagging it on the vlog, and I just want to tell y'all right now that I had an incredible week/weekend. I got flown out to Arizona to DJ, 2-day company party, hotel and flight booked for, food and Uber covered, got paid decent cash. And I'm not saying this as a brag. I was having a moment out there, and if you're following me on Twitter, I tweeted it. You know, a lot of why I was able to do that was because of connections I made at UCSD. I'm rocking the gear right now. Yeah, just felt like I was walking around with this dumb smirk on my face, trying not to cry because there was just like so much emotions of all the hard work and showing up to things, and it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. It was stressful. I actually had to work out there. It was not an easy set. You know, a lot of requests. You know, DJs hate requests. A lot of requests, and I was getting paid a lot of money, so I listened. Or they told me not to play some stuff, so I had to like deny people's requests, which was also hard because usually if they request good music, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna drop that. But there were some times where I was like, oh, it's a good song, but sorry, yo, gotta stick within this, you know, purview. Anyway, it's a great time. You know, thank you for everybody who's been supporting and following the journey. Today I'm gonna start off with my sponsors, like always. Shots Fired, Premier Rap Battle League, San Diego, California, doing it big. They're doing the largest battle rap in San Diego history. It's a 2-on-2. They're doing pay-per-view. So for everybody out there listening to everywhere where the after party gets broadcast, you don't got to be in San Diego to enjoy some legit battle rap. You can just listen to it on pay-per-view. Midnight Motives, their album, Visions, available iTunes and Spotify. Stream, comment, share, like. They have shows coming up. Look them up on Instagram at midnight_motives, I believe. Check them out. My brother's band, big supporter of the podcast, big supporter of me and the show and everything. Don't forget Night Flare Company. They're done with shows for this year. Already planning 2019. A lot of stuff in the works, but they're a film production, live recording, studio, basically multimedia, anything you need. It you could find through them. Hit them up on Instagram at Night Flare Company. Exactly how it spells, NIGHTFLARE Company. And thank you. Those are my sponsors for this month. Again, keeping the vision alive, keeping the dream going. And I'm going to jump right into my guest today. Eric, how long have we known each other?
It's crazy, man. At least, I don't know, man. Over 10 years.
Over 10 years, like right?
It's
yeah.
Crazy. What the fuck?
So why don't you tell the people, we'll just get it started, who you are, what you do, as literal as metaphysical, and then we'll just get this conversation going, man.
Well, my name is Eric Estrada. That's my full name or whatever.
Your government name?
Yeah. And I'm a DJ. I go by DJ RiotBoooy. But low key, I think I'm gonna change my name to King of LA.
King of LA?
Yeah, I'm just gonna change. Yeah, because I think I'm a DJ. And I mean, it's honestly what I do. Like, everybody DJs now, so it's kind of like. Just in terms of the culture now, I think it's like pretty just like watered down, and I don't know. I don't think the respect is really there for DJs right now.
I can see that, the saturation. And also, just so the peeps know, the song intro you heard at the top of the show, that was a RiotBoooy original.
Yeah.
So you told me that's how you start off your set. So why don't we talk about that? Obviously, if you didn't know, that was a lot of people that were murdered by police brutality, and they got off. There was a lot of not guilty, so that's what I got from it.
Yeah.
So if you want to enlighten us about what that is, you play that at clubs, you said. So let's get into all that.
I don't open every set with that, but I mean, I have like in the past, like I played that like out a bunch, and it's just because, like, I think, just. In LA right now, it's like a really crazy time. I mean, just wherever you are, like in the country, as a person of color, as a black person, whatever, any kind of a minority or whatever, it's just kind of like a hot time. And, just being out in these clubs and playing, like rap music and like blah, 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 that whole thing, like I just feel like I had an obligation to honor those people, honor those black people who, like, rap, like right now, like Migos is, and like Cardi B, like Nicki, they're like the biggest stars on the planet, Kanye, and it's just like, they're breaking, the Beatles records, so it's just like their music, and the people who make that music, disenfranchise poor black people, whatever, like, I feel like, they should be honored as well. You can't have the culture without the people. So I just had to.
Do you feel like, I mean, you mentioned rap music and some of these mainstream artists. Do you feel like they're not doing enough to put the light on that situation, or they're not doing their part, or do you feel like they're doing their thing, but this is just what you're supposed to? This is like what you feel you got to bring.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that they, like, everybody has their own lives, and I think just like with social media and like all of this stuff, like, everybody's just like judging the things that, you don't know, like if people are donating money, or you don't know how many people are like staying at somebody's like mansion, or how many people they're giving money to, and all of that stuff. And that's just as important as like that activism, so that's
like real tangible on the ground, man, helping people. All right, so let's go back. We mentioned we know each other for a long time. We met in the ska scene back in the Allen Theater days.
Crazy.
And for all the people who are tuning in right now who've known me for a lot longer than this podcast was even a thing.
Oh shit, they watching?
Yeah, they're watching. We live on Facebook. Crazy. And they're also streaming out to people that are, people on social media. So there might be some folks out there who or if not, they're gonna hear it after when we put it up on the app.
Yeah.
You know, so I know I shared on Facebook, so I know I still have a lot of like ska friends from the Allen Theater days. So we still out here doing music.
Like honestly, like fuck you guys, like a whole bunch of you guys, because like a lot of people were fucking hella mean to me. Like honestly, like a lot of people were like racist as fuck.
Because you were like the only black ska kid.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, dude. Like like
I mean, not even to be racist myself. I mean, I probably was at some point, but like you did. That's probably one of the reasons why I actually recognized you when we met, like years later. Because I was like, oh, you were the only black ska kid with the bandana and your long ass legs, skanking in the pit. Yeah,
fucking crazy. And like, I regret not. I didn't take a lot of pictures then. Like. I was
social media wasn't a thing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was,
and like, I don't know about you, but like, I was kind of in the streets then, or like, tagging and like skating and doing all of that stuff. So like, I don't know, just being like a young nigga. So like, I didn't have a lot of photographic moments, but like,
right. Or maybe even extra funds to have a camera because phones didn't have cameras
key,
in them, until later. Or if they did, they were like very shitty cameras.
Yeah.
So Well, I used to be in a ska band, so that's kind of...
La Pobre Ska.
Yeah, La Pobre Ska. Hey, shout out.
Crazy.
Jesse.
That's crazy,
Sesh,
man.
The original lineup. Fifi. Everybody out there. Gilbert.
Damn. Hey, I've been seeing... I used to stay, like, by MacArthur Park, like, at the Park Wilshire building, and I remember, I think a lot of Assistencia were playing there, like, a couple months back, and, like... Yeah, it's crazy.
At the park, right? The free shows they throw out there.
Yeah, I was like, yo.
And then you run into other 30-year-olds who are still coming out to see what's... So you're like,
well, I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go.
Yeah, but I'd be looking at, like, people's Instagrams and
still
shit.
Doing it.
And I was like, yo, crazy. So,
no.
like, there's, like, a whole new scene. It's probably, like, a bunch of, like, kids now or something like that.
Well,
But,
I mean,
like,
that's kind of that's like the inside joke, is that it's all cyclical, right? Like, before you can go to clubs and get drunk, you're going to backyard shows and you're going to concerts that are like all ages. And then you hit like 18, 19, 20 and you kind of phase out. Yeah, you kind of phase out of shows and you start going to like, 18 over clubs and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were talking about your experiences in the street. At that time, I was like doing the band thing, just kind of getting wasted. I was like hood famous, like to this day, people used to be yelling out my name in the street from that band. Like not even because of now shit. Well, now it's starting to be like SHNEAKY, but before it's like La Pobre Ska, people driving by, So like there was like a little Dude, do you think if the Allen was still around right now that they'd be doing like raves and shit too, like to make money? Like, or you think they would just have been sticking straight to punk rock and ska and stuff?
Nah, you gotta like diversify now, and like, I mean, really, like, culture crosses over so many different ways, and like, we did that, but like we're also like listening to other fucking music, like we both like linked up again in like the LA hip hop scene and shit. And,
right. Shout out Sela Hip Hop, Darmedius and Pump Gatto, bringing people together. Ooh, ooh. The homegirl Monica.
Yeah, homegirl Moni.
Homegirl Moni.
It's crazy, all the homies and homegirls and shit.
Just like people connecting and stuff, man. So, dude,
wild.
Do you know that the Allen Theater is like historical? Like people talk about it, like, oh, there was this golden age in Sela in the Southeast LA when the Allen brought art and culture, and because there's no venues now in Sela like that do that on a big level, that are bringing nationally touring bands to like a little venue, like, and once that left, there's this huge vacuum, which a lot of art historians or whatever are kind of saying why there was this explosion of so many different things is because there was no outlet for it, So
I remember like a bunch of like bands, like punk bands, like like played there too. It's crazy. That's wild.
Punk, hardcore. They used to have like wrestling matches there.
Oh yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
It's been like 10 years since that time. So what were you doing between being the only black guy in the ska scene to now being one of the like the only black guy at some of these DJ gigs that you're at?
It's basically the same. Like my life has stayed the same in that way. Like literally, like everything else has kind of like changed. To like, but that whole thing being like the only black person or one of the only black people, or like even if I'm not the only black person being the only like nigga from the streets like there, some shit like that, like somebody, yeah, it's wild. But since then to now, like
Like, what
I
happened after ska? Like, did you start going to clubs and stuff? Like, when you turned
nah,
18, like,
I
what
got
was your deal?
as soon as I turned 18, like I caught a felony like basically right after like out of high school. Like I got like caught up in all that shit and like
Charged you
really,
as an adult.
yeah, and like really basically like I like came up with like a bunch of like I know like I knew like a bunch of fools who like gangbang from like a whole like a bunch of different hoods, like a lot of like different like some blood, some Crips, some like Spanish gangs and shit. Like the first tagging crew I ever got in, because I'm not gonna say the name, but they're like the little homies from like Florence, and like it was because like obviously like I'm black and shit, so it's not like it was
You
like
can't fit in, like,
yeah,
super...
yeah, exactly.
You're just not super smooth transition.
Nah, I mean not even that. Just saying like I had like my foot in the water a little bit, like
Yeah.
so but anyways, like I got caught up like young, just same hood story, and I basically had to deal with that for this
A long
entire
time.
time. Yeah, because it was hard for me to get a job. Like I that's basically how I started DJing. Like I was hustling, like working for different like brands. Like streetwear labels, that whole thing.
Like, people that were trying to put out their own clothes or trying to throw their own shows, or
Well,
what were they trying to do? Or
no,
were
like
they
these were like
brands that were already kind of semi-established that were trying to take it to the next level? Or...
Yeah. They were still pretty small, but they, but those businesses that like ran out of downtown, maybe like first wave of like creatives to like tackle streetwear, like that whole kind of thing. But like, it was all people who were like not from the city or just people who weren't really like
connected.
not even just to the culture, it was just people who I guess and not to knock anybody's dreams because everybody has like dreams and you have to pursue them, but just fitting in, like seeing those things, then like I just was like, yo, like I'm actually like from the streets, like I'm actually like of this culture, like why am I like I just need to be being a like accurate representative of it, so I started DJing then, or like trying to like do that whole thing. Like my boys like started throwing parties, and I just finessed my way like onto them and like did that whole thing. And it's crazy, a lot of people, I mean everybody has their time to like blow up and shit, but like I've seen like people like come up and like do that whole thing, and it's wild. That whole thing
Like
is
people we
fucking crazy.
knew from like Compton house parties and like warehouse parties.
Honestly,
and stuff like that,
not
or,
really.
Or what
any
do
of
you
it.
mean people come up? Like, who are you talking about?
Honestly, like really none of those people are from here either. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what's like kind of crazy, because the way that this scene is, and it's still kind of like this now, like talent, and there's like a separation between the people who are actually like curators of like the culture, or whatever, and the people who are like actually like trying to like, or who should like, or who are like looking for an avenue for themselves, that think they have to like go a different avenue instead of like just sticking to their own thing, you know? Yeah.
But like, so you started DJing.
Yeah.
You were trying to deal with this felony shit, which is like,
Yeah.
let's just call it what it is. Felonies and black people, or felonies and people of color, are kind of a thing that like was created. that's something it's not a very novel story, but
Yeah, like I didn't even, if like in hindsight, if I would have not pled guilty, I pled fucking no contest to my shit. If I wouldn't have not like, I would not have this on my record, and even if I would have done like 3 months jail time or something like that, like 3 months, or that's still not like anything,
right.
But because I would have like, I'm pretty sure I would have like gotten locked up for a little bit and just did my time and just been done.
Right.
But like,
and like if it was in LA, the 3 months is probably like really like a month and a half because it's so crowded. And
yeah. Well, no, it was definitely going to be like around 3 months or more, like, but like as
nah,
like,
nah, it was gonna go down.
yeah, but like as like a child, like, or whatever, I just was like, yo, like,
scared. You kind of wanted it to be over.
yeah,
They weren't.
I didn't
I'm
even,
pretty sure you didn't have a lot of help or resources with any of that.
yeah, I didn't even like know, like when they told me I was gonna get a felony, like I was like, okay, all right, well, so, and they were like, yeah, after you pay your restitution, like blah blah blah, like told me like all this stuff, but like I had a public defender, so it's like, it just I it's just the same old story, like when you're in those situations, and you're innocent, or even if you're not innocent, and even if you can get off because there's no evidence against you, like you have, it's your obligation to say that you're not guilty. You can't
Right.
let them just be like, yeah, you get less time or something
Plead
like that.
out,
But
yeah.
nah, you gotta fucking take that time, or just say you're not guilty and beat the case. Like really.
Yeah, and I'm not a
just like,
lawyer,
you
and
get,
honestly, like all my run-ins with the law have
yeah,
been not that bad. I mean, got some dirt on my record, but
yeah,
it's nothing I'm too ashamed of.
yeah,
But so ska scene, punk,
yeah,
Allen, then fucking having to deal with crime, trying to make ends meet, start
yeah.
DJing, and now you're successful DJ. You still 9 to 5 and DJ on the side. Did you still have that felony on your record? Is it still stopping you from
Um,
getting work? Like,
I mean, it has like up until recently, like I've been blessed to like get like a normal job,
okay,
like all that stuff. Like I've been working in production and like doing that whole thing for like a minute, like and I even though like I'm grateful for all of the opportunities that like I was like given and that I've had, and people that I've had to like work with, it's just like certain, you can't like live a lie, and it's just like, damn, I just couldn't fucking do that shit, it's
what
just crazy.
lie? What lie? You said it with a
um
smile on your face. You couldn't live a lie.
I don't know, man, like,
What lie were you living, or what lie did you feel like you were living?
uh I'm an only child, right? So
Okay.
basically, like from that whole time and the situation, having to deal with like all the like the legal shit, um and just like being like a young man growing up, like I'm an only child, like I didn't have a father, well, like my family didn't really like pay attention to me or none of that shit, like so I had to learn a lot on my own, and damn, I forgot my point. I had a good ass point.
You were
um
living a lie. I want to know what lie you were living.
yeah, well, I
What's
mean,
this lie that you decided
okay,
that you couldn't live anymore?
well, it's just like you have to, ultimately you just have to live your life on your own terms. That's basically it.
Yeah.
So regardless of whether that means like working somewhere that like is like draining to you or something like that, and like honestly, like there's like joy and like being, and working and like all of that stuff, but that doesn't necessarily like mean that, I mean, I'm only speaking for myself,
Of course. That's all
because
we can really do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And for what I was given, because a lot of the reason for that, why I had to go a different route, was because of like, the like legal shit.
Or like you're not having good family upbringing, right? So many factors, right,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
lead
yeah,
to
yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's all like it all
Yeah,
piles up, and at some point you're like, well, this was the fucking cards I
yeah,
was dealt. Like, how do we try to win?
yeah,
How do we get 21 still
yeah,
with this hand? So.
yeah. So I just have to do my own thing and go my own route. Basically, it's just what it is.
Well, you
And
hit me up because you wanted to talk about DJing and about
yeah,
your
man.
experiences
Yeah,
as a DJ.
yeah,
And I mean, I kind of want, like, because we just reconnected, so I'm not even
yeah.
sure. And obviously, people listening, unless they're friends of yours, probably don't
Hmm.
know. So, like, how big of a DJ are you? How often do you DJ? Like, do you
Yeah,
get paid to DJ?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
how,
yeah.
like,
Okay, all
you know
right.
what I mean? Because there's
Okay,
like,
okay.
I
I
need some
see.
context to
Okay,
like
okay.
what,
All
when
right.
you're talking like DJ and scenes and this, and people
Yeah.
come up, it's like, okay,
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm a spit facts right now.
just
Like I
do
know,
it.
like I hope, like I don't want to sound too cocky or anything
No, no,
like
no, do
that.
it. This is
But
recognition and respect. You
yeah,
get
yeah,
both
yeah.
on
Okay.
this
All
show.
right. Well, like, I mean, yeah, I get paid to like what. See, but this is the thing though, because I don't really like to put. I could put myself on a pedestal and say all this like dope shit about myself, like blah blah whatever. Like I know who the fuck I am. Like I know that I'm like dope, and I know I'm like one of the best DJs in the city. Like I know, nobody fucking gets it popping like me wherever. Like when I go out places, not every time, but like like I keep a USB on me, and people like ask me like on a regular basis, like if I'm not on the party, if I'm gonna go see like a friend or whatever, it's like, yo, do you want to hop on and like play a couple songs real quick,
Right.
Yeah, so I think that like I said, like I'm one of the best DJs in the city. Like I'm at least like top five, like literally, and that's no shade to nobody. Like it's just me doing what I'm doing, um, and that's basically it. Yeah, like I get paid and all that stuff, but like
And do you
it's
DJ every day? Do you DJ
no,
Thursday through
it's not even
Sunday?
like
Do you
that.
get like two
Yeah.
gigs a month? What's your schedule
Um,
look like?
I mean, right now, like
'Cause
right
you just
now,
got the job, right? So it's kind of cooled down a bit, or
well, nah, like it's not even about the job. Like it's just like I wanted to like take a step back and really just reevaluate what I was doing, because yeah, you can be playing all of these like shows at these like popping fucking underground parties and like warehouse parties and like you know do the whole tenets of the trees, like all the like poppin' bars, like that whole like kind of thing. But really, like the reality to that, and like if anybody's watching, and like you too, like it's people not making no kind of money for that,
right?
and really like it's like people are like creating. It's so competitive right now, and blah blah blah, all the bullshit. And like fools are like getting paid like $50 to fucking DJ, some $50 in drink tickets, like like blah, blah, blah whatever,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that whole
yeah.
kind of thing, and like I know people like, look,
And arguably, it's been like that since '08, since
yeah,
2010, when like you started hearing Crooker's remixes on fucking Power 106, and everybody kind
yeah,
of wanted to be a DJ. Like,
yeah,
arguably, like since then, like the value of being able to mix and bring
oh
people
yeah,
to a party and drop tracks,
yeah,
and even how good you are, good you aren't, a lot of that shit kind of like leveled out, and it was like, well, DJs get $50 for sets, and we'll hook you up with drinks, and you get
yeah.
a guest list, and it's like,
And it's crazy because like these places that are booking people to play are making like bread. Come on, like generally, like look, you want to get on the show at a poppin' bar, like wherever the fuck club, whatever. You get generally 10% of the bar, 10-15% of the bar. You make $1,000. If they make $1,000 at the bar, which a lot of places like make more than that, you
right.
get
I mean, they aim for like
$100.
3K, right? That's kind of a number that you kind
It's
of have to
crazy.
hit
Yeah.
at the bar, like
Yeah.
in order to get
That's
a
awesome.
decent payout. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, like 3K is a number that gets thrown out a lot. Like,
But that's still retarded, and like honestly, there needs to be a union, because like nah, it's crazy. Like
man,
everything's off
unionized DJs? What do you think about that,
Yeah.
Brittany? Do you think
Yeah.
you think DJs need to lose?
I'm
She
telling
says she
you,
agrees.
I'm
All
telling you,
right.
because like people be like they making the wrong moves. You have like people throwing shows at like a poppin' spot. Let's say nobody comes. There's like 8 people on the lineup. Everybody's like it's like totally like fucked up, and fools are doing it because they want to make money, and it's like, yo, like you're not gonna make any kind of money for a little bit. Like you got to take this in the beginning, and like yeah, you want to make it as a DJ or any kind of creative or whatever, like you got to have that source to like fund some shit when you get to a certain point. There's only a certain point, like however far you can go, until you got to start like fucking getting your flights to fucking places, and your Airbnb and like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like yeah, it's like $50.
$50
one,
in drink tickets is not shit when
yeah,
you have to like drive and you're expected to promote
yeah,
and like it's expensive to get in and the drinks are expensive. Like I
yeah,
went to a show the other day and for like a 6-7% IPA I paid $12, where like at my events in the hood at these dive bars you can
yeah,
get 8% beers for $5. It's like huge disconnect between prices and people, and like the place wasn't that packed, so they
yeah,
were trying to get their money. I don't know, it's always weird. I find
yeah,
like when people, like you said, everybody's trying to make money, no one's really caring about the culture or trying to build something like dope
well,
or sustainable, or like
yeah,
give people a shot, or like try to
yeah,
actually pay people for what the work that they do, because at some point
yeah.
DJs these days are promoters, videographers, they make flyers, and then they fucking DJ when they get to the event that they've been but hustling for already. So you're taking a step back from all that, and what are you reevaluating? Like, what do you think? What are you looking at? What are the things you're looking at?
So me, like as a DJ, like I've a lot of people who are like out right now, like popping and doing their thing, like I like kind of put them on, and I'm not like on it. Like I said before, like I'm not trying to like throw no shade. Like I'm just like spitting facts, because like I gotta let like I gotta let y'all know what's good, because a lot of the reason, really, at the end of the day, why I am not where I am or should be was just because of like some like just like racist shit like here in the city, like Los Angeles right now is just going through this like thing, and like and like I don't even really like to put like that whole thing on the pedestal, because I know where I'm going, but like I'm just speaking on the experience.
It's like an uphill battle that you had to like reroute and detours.
Yeah.
They told you were at the wrong spot and you had to take a train somewhere.
Like how you said that like you got requests, and like you sometimes people ask you like not to play certain things. Right. Like, so places have these like nights. Let's say like a bar has like a hip hop night. It's not really people doing what they want to do. It's like a set like criteria for like what people to do, and not everything is like that, but it's just been happening so much that you go anywhere in the city, you go wherever, and you're gonna hear the same 10, 15 songs anywhere you go. You're gonna hear fucking.
I like it like that.
Yeah. Like all like the throwback R&B.
Yeah. This is how we do.
I can't think of the songs off top right now.
I
but
just
like,
did a set, so I already know all these
crazy.
songs. These are like the hits.
Literally everywhere. But me like getting back to where I'm going and what I want to do, like just talking about Cardi B and like just how widespread hip hop music is, like when you think about these festivals like Tomorrowland and like EDC, like blah 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 whatever, there's no like hip hop, there's no DJs playing that kind of music, and like I get it's like
it's electronic.
Yeah, but like you still have like people like DJ Mustard and whoever else like doing like sets there, and it's just like, okay, so
or like
that's
RL
really,
Grime, he mixes like
yeah.
Or like Laid Back Luke will sometimes in the middle of his EDM set will drop and do like some 90s, 2000s for a couple songs. But there's no DJ who's booked that's like, that's their thing.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like the most influential thing of all time, But really it's just like,
no, really.
I had a night at like General Lee's, like and other places in the city, like where I was not asked to come back, because like I played like, because they thought that like people were gonna fucking like start shooting and shit, like it's like, yo, like,
and your name's RiotBoooy,
I mean, yeah
and you're black,
it's basically
like too many factors,
basically that's basically it. But
so were you just playing like really like that heavy trap, like
nah, like,
then what?
I play like trap, reggaeton, like dancehall, punta, like blah blah blah, like world music, like
But what were you playing that night where they thought that it was like?
I don't know. Like it was a while ago. Like I don't remember exactly what I was playing, but like rap music, it's like, come on, man. Like all of these places are only playing like 90s, hip hop and like 2000s hip hop, and that is like the cutoff, because that's like what people like when they start to become like afraid of like rap music, and it's just. Getting back to what I play, like all of these things, like my family is from Central America. I was first to be born here, from Belize, Honduras, and Guatemala, and it's like
Central
rap
American
music.
Twitter in the house.
Yeah. Oh yeah, is that a thing?
Central American Twitter is definitely a thing. Yeah. Shout
but
out Astrid.
like Nicki Minaj, like Cardi B, like there's still people there of the like diaspora, and like hip hop, rap music is also world music. Like if we're fucking from Peru and we're listening to 2 Chainz, like it's like that's world music to them. Like like
it's
just
funny
like,
though
nah.
that you mentioned world music and we're talking about 90s shit, because I was in Brazil and I went to a rap battle in Brazil and they were like battle rapping in Portuguese, but in between it was like old school, where like it was on a beat, so it wasn't like the acapella rap battles, it was like freestyle rap battles. But Dog, everybody was rocking 310 Compton NWA shit.
What?
They were
No
bumping
way.
Dr.
No
Dre out
way.
there. Yes,
That's
fool.
crazy.
The movie, the NWA movie,
It's fucking
put that
crazy.
shit literally
It's
world
crazy.
music where you
It's
have
crazy.
Brazilian-born, Portuguese-speaking rappers
Yeah.
who are rocking the
Yeah.
fucking Lokes with the
Yeah.
Compton hat and the
crazy.
Compton like hoodie,
Yeah.
and it's like they all look like Eazy-E. It was like Eazy-E everywhere. It was like Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and it's just like, so yeah, hip hop, world music, 90s influence, 2000, but now we get to this new era. There's a lot of hate on the new era, even from the cats from the era before, right?
And it's crazy because like 6ix9ine, for example. Like I love 6ix9ine. Like I fuck with 6ix9ine, and that's because like I said, like obviously like I'm educated and blah blah blah, like all of that stuff. Like when I refer to myself as like a nigga, like that is something that is like for us, I'm talking about like and honestly, niggas are not even like you can be not black and be like a nigga. Like the Hispanic homies or blah 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 from like the hood that you grew up with since you were fucking 3 years old, and you know them like from the same hood, same circumstance.
Those are your
blah,
niggas,
blah, blah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, that fool is like that. I mean, I don't know your history.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, like, like I honestly,
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm on the side of like just like trying to get rid of that word. Like
Yeah,
that's just
for real?
yeah.
Really?
Like I tell all my Latino homies, all
Well,
my
yeah, they
Mexican
should not
homies,
say it.
I was like, hey dog, like, but that's the thing though. They're thinking like you're thinking because they grew up in Watts or Linwood
Look,
and
man,
they're like, yo, this is how we grew up, this is how we talk, this is how we communicate with people, and I'm like, look, I get it that you feel that way,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of other people who
if they
do
don't
not
have black
feel
friends,
that way.
if they don't have black friends that they're rolling with basically all the fucking time, if they're not fucking Hispanic tag bangers, like who are saying that shit like every 5 words in their shit, like yeah, those fools. Like I went to like 143 too. It was totally like Asian or whatever. It was like 5 black people there, like literally, and like 1,000 like Asians there, like different whatever, Polynesians and like
Vietnamese,
whatever,
Philippines,
Filipinos,
yeah.
And these fools behind me were like 5 homeboys and shit, like saying nigga like a bunch, and I had to ask him. I was like, yo, are you trying to like disrespect me right now? Because like honestly, like we could run the fade, dude. Like
Right.
I don't appreciate like what you're doing. And he was like, nah, like I love like. Cause I was like, I need to know that you love black people, and I need to know like all of this stuff if you're gonna be saying that.
And I'm gonna be cool with it, and I'm
he-
not gonna say anything.
And
right?
he was like, dog, I crump, like blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, dude, like I'm telling you, like a black person right here, I'm like, you can't say that around black people that you don't know, because your black friend really it's a no. But there's some Hispanic people that like I don't care if they say it, like I
Right.
really don't, because I'll vouch for them. If
Yeah.
if some shit's gonna pop off, I know they're gonna like I already know like who they are, and I know they're gonna have my back, blah blah blah. And
But I
it's
feel like-
literally like 2 people.
Right, but there's
You
a
know.
whole other side where it's like they're like low key racist,
Yeah,
but they say it
yeah,
thinking it's
yeah,
cool because
yeah,
hey, we grew up in the
know,
hood, but
yeah.
they're like
Yeah,
low key
yeah,
anti-black,
yeah,
like
exactly,
won't
exactly,
even So it's like
exactly. It's crazy.
at some point it's like man, like yeah, and I get into it like it's literally been like
Yeah.
arguments where it's like you can't control how I speak, like drunk arguments, obviously, because
Yeah.
I feel like that's when it starts really coming out because everybody gets all like
Yeah.
loose and they feel like everybody's all like yeah, and I'm just like yo, but that's my perspective from where I'm staying at. Like my homies, I try like yeah, I always tell people like yo, we're gonna be chilling, dog, just like not around me,
Yeah.
dude. Like I don't. And just because of the circles I roll in, right? Like I
Yeah.
do events with like
Oh, yeah,
lots
yeah,
of
yeah,
people
yeah,
from
yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fuck San Diego to San Francisco, and I'm trying to be like this big corporation. I can't really have like people in my circle be walking around with me just like dropping the N bomb, like because
Oh,
you never
yeah,
know
yeah,
who
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
be, who's gonna meet you like that,
Yeah.
or who you're gonna run into, and so it's just a selfish perception thing more than anything. But
Low key, I just gotta say this real quick. Like some of these like Asian DJs and like some of these like white girl DJs be saying that shit, and like they yes like yeah,
Brittany's
and,
face right
yo, like there's a club in Koreatown now called Arena, and like, you know, I might be playing there soon. Like, I don't know. Like, I honestly, I'm gonna see. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this on the air because I'm giving up the plan. But my whole thing, my whole thing was to get in there because it'd be packed, like basically like super packed in there, and get in there and like, you know, be on the mic on my set and be like, and just stop the music and be like, hey, like y'all can't be saying the N word, like blah blah blah. Like, look around. There's literally no black people in here. Like, why? Like, you know it's wrong. Like, why are you doing it? It doesn't matter if there's no black people around. You know that you shouldn't be doing it. You know, if you say that shit in front of somebody at the store, blah, 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 whatever. Like,
right.
And honestly, black people, like, we can't, a lot of the times, like, really, we can't even do anything about it, because if we do something about it, the consequences are going to be so much, like, it's not even worth it. You know, if I beat somebody's ass, I'm going to fucking go to jail for whatever, like, you know, like,
and they're probably, and then they're gonna still be more reinforced. Like, oh, well, this is how fucking black people are, violent, and
maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like that could be a possible takeaway, and then you wouldn't have even proved your point or fixed the issue, and you're fucking catching another case.
I told you, like, yo, like you can't be like lecturing them when you stomping them out.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's wild.
You brought up 6ix9ine. I just have to bring it up because someone asked me to play a song by him, and I just don't have any music of his because of like the whole sexual assault and him like I'm not sure if he faked getting beat up. Like, I don't know. I'm questionable about his character, and for me, like, I just don't try to support certain artists. Do you feel like that? Are there artists that you don't like? When Kanye started fucking up, did you stop dropping Kanye tracks? You still drop Kanye tracks?
I love Kanye regardless. Like, I'm gonna like, and I've never not been like, look, this is a crazy thing because I think of myself the same way that he thinks of himself, and like the thing that a lot of people don't understand is like just being like a black man in like in the art world is crazy. Like, it's fucking crazy. You're fetishized. People think you're not talented. Everything, you know, like people like, and honestly, like fetishism is like a huge, like a crazy thing. You know, people just want, like, it's like you the person is expendable, but your work is like, you know, and then like people will just like copy your work, you know, and yeah, but nah, like, I don't know what happened in any of those cases. You know, like I wasn't there, and it's just like I don't really care about what people say on social media, because it's like, and if I get details of a case, whatever, then that's a totally different thing. Yeah. But all of this shit, like, you know, all of the like memes and all of the like, you know, fake news or whatever you want to call it, like people talking about shit on Instagram, I'm just like, how do you even verify any of that shit? So if a song knocks, like, and I think it's tight, I'm gonna play that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know, R. Kelly, like, I might not. I don't know about that. Like, I haven't played any of his songs recently. But I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, really, like, if someone, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that people, like, some people are like victimized by like hearing a song. I mean, if they're like, I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know.
Yeah, and I don't think it's about them being victims. I think for me, it's just more like a representation of what I stand for, what I'm about.
Yeah. I said that wrong also.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, because trauma or whatever, like, triggering, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I've heard research that that's not even how you get over trauma. Like, the best way is to actually expose yourself so that those, like, reactions, like, expose yourself in a controlled way so that those reactions eventually, like to kind of get over it, for lack of a better term, right?
Or
like,
come to terms with it.
You can't, like safe spaces actually make the problem worse as opposed to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you actually have to expose yourself to what triggers you, so that you can
I see. I see what you're saying.
You're supposed to, like, in a controlled way, expose yourself to what triggers you so that you can build up the ability to, like, not let it fuck with you. I'm not a scientist. Don't take my word for it. But for me, it's just like, you know, a lot of people, especially because I do rap, right? I'm a rapper. I put out music. I DJ. So a lot of people just kind of like, it's always like a perception thing. And so I try not to play stuff that would make, maybe I just think about it too much. Maybe I should just drop it if it knocks.
I mean, basically, because like, Yeah, man. Cause
I mean, Father Stretch Hands Part 1, that's when that bass, boom,
Yeah.
boom. I mean, every time, I drop it every time. But, that's just me, personally.
Yeah. You know, yeah, and I think a lot of that stuff is like really just hype. Like really like people just want to be like angry about shit, and it's just like the slightest thing sets you off. So it's like now you're fucking mad at Kanye, like whatever. Like he's like everything that he said, and like with context. Like my whole life is not going to be derailed by by like an artist like making like whatever their opinion is. Like
Right.
I honestly, as like radical as whatever like some of the like things that like I think should be happening or should be done, like I also believe in everyone's right to have an opinion.
Yeah,
so
of
it's
course.
just like, yo, that's your opinion, that's great. Like,
Right.
like whatever. If I don't fuck with it, I don't fuck with it. But like, hey, have your opinion, man.
No, yeah.
You
And I
know?
guess it's just like if I don't fuck with it, I don't have to be promoting your music,
Yeah.
like as the
Yeah.
DJ on my platform. But
You know.
yeah, I don't know. You're right. We don't know what happened in all those cases, but
But if you want to
sometimes
run
you
the
just
fade, we can do that too.
Yeah.
Like, and then whatever.
You're always gonna be from the street, huh?
I mean, I don't know. I think if people fought about stuff, like if world leaders, like you got all this conflict going
If
on.
world
in the
leaders
world,
actually had to duke it out
if they
themselves
if they-
instead of
yeah,
having
yeah,
armies of
exactly,
young people go fight their wars for them.
Exactly. If
there'd
it
be
was a
less-
one-on-one from the top down, like, it's like, okay, you got a problem with Russia. It's a fade. You guys, it's the
Putin's
boxing
gonna
match or
fuck.
blah blah blah. Whatever.
Russia would rule the world though, because Putin is like a fucking judo black belt.
I mean, maybe.
Goes hunting.
Maybe.
Homie goes hard in the
Maybe.
martial arts, dog.
I mean, we don't know what Trump do. What if he's like low key, like super, like nah, he's probably
the
not. but,
diet
like,
pills and
yeah.
Diet Coke straight up. Fucking.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Straight
Well, is there anything else? We're coming down to like the last 10, 15 minutes.
Um,
You hit me up because you wanted to like talk about
Yeah.
your message and like your experiences. Is there anything else that you want to cover, or you want the people that are listening to know, or if anything you just want to get off your chest to say like, hey, I said it. It had to be said. It got said.
I mean, my main thing is like, in the future, like, I'm gonna be fucking doing like, like when you see like like DJs at raves, like with the crazy like light setups and like blah blah blah, whatever, all that stuff. Like that's my goal. Like that stage, like main stage, and that's my goal. But I'm gonna still be playing like trap and like reggaeton and like doing like my thing. But like hip hop culture, black culture is so like prevalent right now in so many ways. Like you have these like white girls on Instagram like using bronzer to like like look more exotic, blah, blah,
there was a
whatever.
whole thread of like that on Twitter. All the white girls that look black.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
and
a lot of them.
And I do think that is also like really like exaggerated. Like people like I think people like if you want to play with looks like blah blah like all of that stuff. Like if they're trying to be like black people, like I don't know the whole like
Right.
you
Maybe
know,
they
that
just
it's
like to look tan, right?
yeah. But
Maybe they just didn't like how white they were. It's like it's not their fault.
But it's definitely like when we get victimized, like because black people, we've been victimized so much that even now, like it's like the slightest thing happens, and then it's just like we're being victimized again, and it's just like I just think we got to stay strong and like it's 2018 and Donald Trump is the president. Like I don't know, I'm sure like it's not even a surprise to so many people that he even like won because he's this like famous businessman. He's like a familiar like
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
And it's just but just the state of like the country with like the shootings and blah blah blah, like all of the fucking bullshit is just like, hey, you can't you have to be strong for yourself and you have to be strong for your family and you have to continue to live your life. Like you can't be like outraged every second over some bullshit. It's like, yo, keep your head, and like, and maintain, because like literally if there was a war outside, like fools don't know how to use weapons, fools don't know how to fucking do CPR and like, any of that kind of stuff. And it's like, yo, you got to think about what's actually important,
Can I
Yeah.
just tell you that I thought you played house music when you first told me you
Oh,
were a
really?
DJ?
Yeah. No,
You
I
just looked
don't.
like the way you were dressed. I
Yeah.
was like, I could see this for being like a tech house DJ.
Nah, honestly, I don't really like any of that music, and well, just because I mean, I've already been like exposed to it. I've already been in like I already like lived that life, just like with like ska and like punk and all of that stuff. Like I'm
Right.
not just trying, and it's just like there's things that I love and I hold dear, and all of those things are like those things. But it's like when it comes to me and what I want to play, like yeah, like I want to play music that and things that are gonna make people feel things.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
thing that like in the beginning, like I like actually play that because it's like you have to. I feel like you need to take over that space, and like no one can not listen to what you're playing.
Right.
You basically have these people hostage, and it's just like I feel like just with a lot of the issues in the world, like you know across the board with marginalized people, whether you're black, Hispanic, Mexican, Latino, whatever, queer,
LGBTQI, yeah, yeah.
trans, blah, 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 whatever. Um, like you just have to represent, and really just, I don't know. Like I feel like, yeah, there's like a lot of like tension in the air like now, but I feel like one of my things to do in this life is to bring people together. And like I've people have like cried at my DJ sets before, playing not playing like original tracks, mind you, like playing like like maybe like edits of like whatever. Let's say like Wu Tang instrumental with like Selena like acapella with like some other shit like on the third like CDJ, like doing some like crazy like cinematic shit, and it's like that is how I think everybody should be coming. You shouldn't
Yeah.
just, like it's just yeah, you can play whatever like trap shit you want in the club, whatever, like blah blah blah. But I don't know. Yeah, I think that
That's
there
what
has to
sets
be
you
an
apart, right? You
attention
have
also.
flavor, like you put it in extra intention. You're trying to like do some
Yeah.
epic shit. Like you see yourself as this main stage guy, and that's the
Well,
energy you bring to like every set to try to do this crazy like
yeah.
like musical experience, right? You said
Yeah.
cinematic, right? That's
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a crazy way to like describe like a
Yeah.
set, right?
Like I was like suicidal for like a long ass time just with everything that like had been through, and like around the time that we had known each other, like I got jumped at this like show, and like these fools from this like gang from like uh in front of the project, I'm not gonna say where or whatever, but they came and gave me a strap like I was, and like they were like, yo, like if you want like just like they took it like they gave it to me, I took it and posted up outside of that show, and I was gonna fucking blow that. Like I was like I would probably still be in jail off that shit, And it's fucking crazy, but like that was like a life defining moment for me because well, my cousin picked me up. Like I caught him before, and like just within the same time period, like he pulled up in front, and I was like waiting, and I got into the car with the strap, and like they had no idea. But the fact that it was like a black guy and a Hispanic fool from the same gang, like just like that kind of stuff, like and they were like both like crazily were trying to, like they like had my back. Like at that time, I was like,
Yeah, they saw you get jumped and they were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"This is unacceptable."
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
This is unacceptable in our hood right now.
And
so
and
if you
it's
got to
like,
make that right, here's
Yeah.
your in their weird honor way.
and
they
that-
were like,
yeah, and that's like toxic masculinity for you
"Yeah,
right there.
definitely,
You
definitely."
know, yeah, it's crazy. You know, but I just want to bring people together and make them feel something that they haven't felt, and like, you know, send a clear message.
And you
know?
think that's missing right now, and you're that's like
Yeah.
that's the void you're trying to fill. Right?
Yeah, like people just want clout, and people just want like everyone has like professionally done like photos on their Instagram, like and like all of these people are just like selling, like trying to sell themselves to get like to have a sponsored event by like fucking Converse and Heineken or some shit like that. It's just like yo, like there, there's
I'm sorry, I just
more,
thought
there's
about
like way
someone.
more, and it's just like you're compromising yourself already by
Right.
that, and I just think that
And you think those big sponsors like that, like whether intentionally or
Mhm.
just by the way you think black people are like left out of a lot of those opportunities, or you think like is that kind of where that kind of touches on that there's like a lot you feel like you don't get some of these opportunities
Yeah.
Because people are afraid of the music you're playing, or because of the image you're bringing, because you're
Nah,
not doing the professional look?
No, they're just intimidated by me. Like honestly, like I've been in like circles with like, my friends are like people who have done like crazy things. Like, and I'm like I ain't even gonna speak on it. Like they know who they are. Like if they're watching,
all right, I feel you.
whatever.
I think I know where you're going with this, right? Yeah.
And it's just, yeah. I mean,
You're different. You're different. Your background's different from a lot of these people, the places where you're at, the circles that you're in. Like, your experiences are different, and they're
well,
just
I
not...
just was gonna say that like a lot of people, like people of color, black people, or whatever, just like it's. I think it has a lot to do with school because a lot of these people who are in these positions to make these shots at these companies, whether it's like Red Bull or Budweiser or blah, 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 the people who are working those positions like are not people who, they don't even know that those positions are open for them. That's one.
Right.
And that's why, like, I always just like tell people like, yo, just like think of where you want to go and then like just navigate, like try to figure out as many like just what your resources are,
right?
Because if you want to be a singer, like blah, 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 or you want to like do audio, like some shit, it's like you can go to school for that, and then like then you actually have that. Like yeah, you can come up in like different ways, like but like yeah, a lot of those windows and how people get picked and chosen, like it's these people who are like these kids or coming from wherever who are not necessarily from here, who end up working for Complex or working for these media outlets who may have the best intentions, but their picks are like coming from like agencies and like blah blah whatever, not like them being out and going to like a show and like finding
trying to
like,
find you underground talent,
So, but yeah, it's
always about who you know, right? Connections and like what the kind of hands you can shake and who gets put into what places.
Yeah, I mean, I think that right now, when it comes to what the things that we want to do, I think that trying to think of doing things the most professional way is important. Not to like make your whole shit corporate, but just to know that like, I don't know, man. Like, if you want to get on a show, like it's best to just like go and see who is running it. Just like go pay for your fucking ticket, just peep game, see who's like walking around, like go super early, go like talk to them and like see like what's what, like that whole kind of thing. Don't fucking DM, don't email nobody because even if they look at your shit, just like run up in person and
hundreds
find,
of those a
like,
day,
see
probably,
like what the actual route is,
Hey man, well, it was really dope talking to you, dude. I appreciate it was. I'm glad we reconnected. Again, shout out fucking like, Monica and Sella Hip Hop, Darmedius Pump for bringing us all together.
Yeah.
I'm glad fucking you reached out because this is a good conversation.
Yeah,
let the people know where they can find you before Brittany throws us off air.
You can hit me on IG. That's literally the only thing. Like I don't really fuck with Twitter. Like I might start using it, but like at RiotBoooy, RiotBoooy. Or you can text me like 424-224-2975 if you're really with the shits.
Damn, this fool gave his number. I think you're the first person to give your number out.
Like if you have like questions, blah blah, whatever, any of that bullshit, just like hit me because like I really like my internet shit and me like real life are like two separate things.
Right.
So it's just yeah, and that's also like a crazy thing too.
Perception, having two different personas. Yeah, I run a couple different accounts, and I'm always like, okay, what tone am I using? What voice?
Yeah.
All right, man. Great to have you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me. Also,
yeah, man. And if you ever have a show you want to promote, or you put something,
sure. November 25th at La Cita.
Oh, what? You're gonna be La Cita?
Yeah. For El Minueto or some shit like that. Yeah, it's like a poppin' ass like cumbias.
Yeah,
like,
no, I know the night. I know the night. Yeah,
that's just gonna be fucking crazy.
La Cita cracks, dude. That's dope. I've been actually trying to get in there, so if you put a good word for your boy.
Yeah,
maybe I'll come
through.
I'll pay for a ticket and come in and see how people move and shit. Yeah.
That shit.
That's how it works.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Everybody come through.
Come through November 25th at La Cita, cracking ass bar. We're here every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the west side of the after party. Comment, like, share on the podcast app. Come find me on Instagram. Google search SHNEAKY, SHNEAKY. All my links pop up. And let's stay connected. I'll see y'all next week. Love you. Bye.